What's up, everyone? On Thursday, August 15th, 2013, Mark Howitt came to Oshawa to unite local activists. Mark is a young musician, documentary filmmaker, speaker, and activist from Sudbury, Ontario, Canada, who has dedicated himself to spreading awareness across the globe. He has produced a number of powerful documentaries that cover various topics including, but not limited to, the Awakening, the New World Order, the Illuminati, human experimentation, Sandy Hook shootings, and James Holmes, just to name a few. His films have had much success over the internet, receiving millions of views on his YouTube channel, as well as gaining the attention of Canadian and international political activists. After release of his latest documentary film entitled NWO Domino Effect, Mark decided to take his show on the road and star in his own reality show about reality. So on July 17, 2013, he started his March of Freedom, which would take him on a journey across eastern Canada for several months. Along the way, he scheduled many speaking events, providing him the opportunity to meet community members, spread awareness on the problems found in our reality, as well as seek solutions by uniting passionate individuals. Thankfully, Mark's journey was a complete success and he is now home safe and sound. His work does not end there, though. On top of it all, he is the founder of the World Public Union Organization, an activist networking site designed to help like-minded individuals to connect, communicate, and activate. While Mark was in Oshawa, BrainFeed got the chance to interview him, so that footage is what follows here. Please enjoy the video and check out brainfeed.ca, check out Mark's website, worldpublicunion.org, and his documentaries at his YouTube channel, youtube.com/LordDefiler, and check out my YouTube channel, youtube.com/brainfeedca. Got lots of videos there, and thanks for checking out the video, and hopefully you enjoy the video. Thanks.
So my name is Mark Howitt. I'm here in Oshawa, Ontario at Wasted Space. Met with a lot of cool people here in Oshawa who are concerned for their future. They wanted to see what I had to say. Some of them watched my documentary films. Others just heard about the March of Freedom, and others knew other people in the community that are essentially on the same goal, the same path to create change within the community that's going to benefit everyone. So it's really good to be here in Oshawa right now at Wasted Space and to meet all the people, and it's awesome that I'm here with everyone that showed up, which is really cool. So yeah, there's some questions here that I'm going to answer, so you can cut all this up however you want, but the reason why I'm in Oshawa today is for the March of Freedom. I left my hometown of Sudbury, Ontario on July 17th, 2013 to go on a spiritual journey, essentially, and a mission to learn from others and to teach others what I've learned about the corruption in society and the world as a whole. So the March of Freedom, today's date is August 15th, so I've been on the road for just under a month now. I made it to Oshawa. I've had some injuries to my feet. I was planning to walk from Sudbury all the way to Barrie. It's illegal to walk on the 400 and the 401 highways, so I've had to get rides essentially in that area, Southern Ontario, just so I could make it to the seminars and make it on time so I wasn't late. When you're walking, you never know what day you're going to end up in a certain area. So it was good to get to Barrie to have a checkpoint, essentially, where I'd be off my feet and I could relax and let my feet heal, because there was some severe damages done to my feet. I had to go to the emergency in Huntsville, Ontario. The OPP brought me there, and they actually got me a bus ticket from Huntsville to Barrie, which got me to the highway and off my feet. So that's how I got to Oshawa. I've just been on this journey and doing the March of Freedom. The mission and the goals of the March of Freedom is to create awareness in every community that I walk through. Also to document the city, the way it was built, architecture, the masonry, the Freemason halls, all that stuff that's in every community that I've been through. I try to document it as much as I can, and I try to talk to people in the community, whether it be just a family that's walking down the street, or whether it be a worker who I'm noticing getting off work, or whether it be somebody who's homeless on the streets. Or other activists. I'm trying to talk to as many different people as I can, cross-sections of society, to get their opinions and their concerns about what's going on in the world, and try to document video evidence of that to create a reality show. The March of Freedom will be a reality show when it's done. I'm going to do all the editing and piece together a bunch of episodes for a season. I've got a lot of videos right now and a lot of great interviews and a lot of great footage so far. I've noticed it making a difference already, just from going through a community and giving somebody a little bit of hope, because there's a lot of people that are depressed and down because of the cards that they've been dealt from life and the government. So a lot of people have been dealt bad cards, and I try to hear their story and try to give them a little bit of hope and give them some ideas on how these problems can be solved. And especially when you work together in the community with a bunch of people, that really helps. I'm also the founder of the World Public Union, which is a group I started, an activist group, which has no leader. Everybody is their own leader, and they bring their own skill sets to the table locally to try to create awareness in their own community and to try to lobby these people that are causing crimes or to create awareness essentially and make a difference, to actually make a difference. Because you could talk about it all you want, but when you actually start doing something, that's when you'll notice changes. So I'm trying to promote that message on the March of Freedom. And the goals is essentially just to spread awareness and to actually solve some of the problems that we face as Canadians and members of the world, the global community. We know that there's a lot of crime and a lot of corruption going on with government, media, corporations, and all that stuff. And I felt like it was time to do something about it, not just put a Band-Aid over the wound and stop the bleeding. We got to actually go right and heal the wound and close it up. Otherwise, it's going to bleed out until essentially that particular entity dies from the injuries sustained. And that's what I see the world as almost. It's like a living entity that's wounded right now, and we need to heal the Earth's wounds, because this Earth is all we have. It's what we need to survive. And these globalists have no concern. They just concern themselves over profit. And if they're not making money, they don't care about it. And they are destroying the environment by doing so. We have free energy. We have free energy vehicles. We have different types of technology that we could implement into society, where we would save hydro bills, we would save on all sorts of bills, but they don't want to put that in because they'd lose their profit income. So that's another concern that I have, that I'm trying to spread awareness about. In my understanding, the nature of reality is something so pure and so ancient. It's within us all. I think it's found within every single individual. It's not something that just one person has and another one doesn't. I think all of us have this nature of reality within us. But what's happened is these globalists and these people that are running each community and essentially the world, when you go right to the top of the pyramid, you look at the Bilderberg groups and stuff like that, what they've done is they've designed a fictional reality. It's a false world. It's an illusion, I guess you could say. And what I'm trying to do is break down that illusion and show people the realities of life, the most important things, and to try to wipe the cobwebs away from the corners, so that they can actually see what's in the corners and see the box that they're in. And then once you step outside the box and you're looking at the box from outside, you can see how this whole system operates within that matrix, essentially. You can see how the system is working. And when you're looking at it from outside and you're looking at it and you're watching it operate, you realize how you were a victim of the system. And that's what it's going to take, is for us to separate ourselves from this fictional reality and get back to the nature of reality, in my opinion. And it does lie within every human being, within their mind, body, and soul. And we just have to come together and realize that and even accept that and work together to increase each person's own potential as a human being, because human potential is lost when you're living in a world full of lies. And it's hard to find the truth in a world of lies, and I'm trying to show people the truth so that they can get rid of this falsity that they've bestowed upon us. When I started waking up to what was going on, it was before I was making documentaries. Actually, I was learning about how corrupt things were, and I just found it was unfair. I found it was totally absurd what was going on, and it kept increasing over time. The first documentary I made was in 2009. I've made 9 films to date. My latest one being NWO Domino Effect, which I've tried to compile all the problems that I've learned and put them into one video source so that people can see just how deep this goes and just how much corruption is happening in the world, and also give them a bit of hope at the end of the film to show them that there is solutions and that we are the solution. So NWO Domino Effect was my latest documentary, and before that I just started noticing things. It was 9/11, I think. It was 9/11 when that happened, and I had a job, and the job was shut down because we couldn't call people in the United States, so I had to go back to my job and find a note on the door saying I couldn't come to work. So my income was being affected by that, and I needed that money to pay my bills. So that kind of made me uncomfortable there because there was no other places to work in the community in Coniston, Ontario. So after that, my grandfather died the same year, and I was playing music and I was touring around a lot and stuff like that, and that's kind of like what I chose to do with my life. But then there came a point in my life where I really did start researching more into things, and then I started making documentary films. And when I started putting the documentaries out, I did a lot of independent research, months and months and months and months, even years now. But definitely a lot of research went into making those documentaries. And that's just what it was. I enjoyed telling people what was going on and the truth about things and helping people. And that's what I do this for, is for helping people. That's really my goal, and my mission is to help other people. Even if I could just spark a little bit inside of them when I leave, or plant a little seed inside of them and then leave, I'm hoping that grows even when I'm not around, and they do take the control of their life back, because only we can do that. I can't do that for somebody else. They have to do it themselves. And at least when you give people faith and support, they feel good about themselves, and they will make a difference, and they'll feel that their actions are worth it, and they didn't waste their time. And they're doing a good thing. So that's what I'm trying to do, is to affect other people that way, in a positive way. The most significant barriers that are holding human beings back are divisions. Too many people have opinions. Too many people have an opinion about this and an opinion about that, and then it causes a division. There's people out there that are liberals, conservatives, NDP, anarchists, communists, socialists. You have all these terms that are put into place for somebody's opinions and viewpoints politically, and those are all meant to cause divisions. And that's the old thing from Sun Tzu's Art of War. It says right in there to divide and conquer, because if you can divide an army or a group, essentially, you can conquer them easier because they realize strength is in numbers. So what's happening, I think one of the biggest barriers is activist groups are being divided. They're being destroyed and disseminated by the media. The media is attacking certain people. There's smear campaigns happening against certain people that are actually making a difference and working and fighting hard to make a better world for future generations. That's a big problem, and that all ties in with the globalists. That ties in with the Bilderberg Group, the Freemasons, the News, the Gatekeepers, Project Bluebird, Mockingbird. You have all these covert operations that are being designed by the intelligence communities and put into play to affect the human mind and the human psyche, and that's really causing splits and divisions in a lot of people's minds. And really, if you boil it down, we need certain things to survive as human beings, and there are certain things called human rights violations and abuses, and that's what I see these corporations and the governments are doing to its own people, are creating and instilling human rights violations on people. So that's a barrier right there, is getting past people's comfort zone, because they've grown comfortable living in this life, being a slave for a system that just wants to profit off them, and letting others suffer in the dirt and just not having any concern over it. It's called contagious apathy, and I think one of the biggest barriers is just getting the truth out and just getting it known. And that's what they're trying to do. They've designed all these systems and organizations to make sure that we don't come together and we don't work together and we don't make a difference. And I'm trying to be the anti that. Which is why I started the World Public Union, a group which is an activist group, a local group I've tried to start in as many communities as possible, and other people have started. That's where it's key, is other people start these groups in their own community, and then they work together with themselves, and they do whatever they can to make a difference locally. Because when you make a difference locally, you can actually then work together with others and make changes globally. So that's the whole point of the World Public Union, was to become to become the barrier for the New World Order, essentially. The World Public Union is the wall for the New World Order. It's like we, the people, are going to stand up and we're going to put a wall in front of you so you can't come plowing through and destroy our lives and our children's lives. Because I know my life's been affected and a lot of other people's lives have been affected by what's going on. And I think there needs to come a time where it's put to an end. And the only way we can do that is through realization and self-empowerment and unity. So I already went through with the solutions. That would be the solution, I think, is the solution would be to self-empower yourself and know that you have the strength within you. Educate yourself, educate others, get involved with local groups that are working for the same causes and the same goals, because strength is in numbers, and that's what it's going to take. You can't be complacent, you can't be docile and just sit at home on the internet all day making posts and talking about this stuff, because people it's not going to do anything. Sure, you're going to educate some people, which is good. It's good to educate others by making posts on Facebook and stuff. But if that's all you do, you're not getting out and meeting other people and actually creating physical change in the community, which is what's needed, for sure. If I could make everyone in the world understand one thing about my documentaries and what I'm trying to do, that is to love each other and to care for each other and work together and put the unity back in community. Really, the change lies within you, and that's all it ever took, was just you, because you are the creator of your own world. You make your own decisions in life. You choose your own path in life. So if you would like to be on the path of love and harmony and unity, you can have that. You just have to make the decision to do that. And some people just wake up the next morning and they have it. They have that in them, and then they start changing the way they eat, changing your eating habits, knowing that what bad food is and not eating it, not buying the products from these companies that are putting poisons in our food, like genetically modified organisms, food preservatives, carcinogens, all the stuff that's in our food that's making us sick and making us illness and profiting the health industry. We got to identify those problems and not support it. We also got to get fluoride out of the drinking water in many Canadian communities as well as American. In Europe, they're already doing fine. There's 97% fluoride free in Europe. And why is that? Because they understand that it's not good for you. But over here in North America, it's not like that. It's very high fluoride percentage rates. So work together and believe in yourself. Believe that you can make a difference, and that is the strongest thing that you could ever have, is a strong mind. You have a strong mind, you will get through anything in this life, and that's the only thing that ever got you through anything in your entire life. Look at the movie Alive, the guys who had the plane crash and they had to resort to cannibalism to eat each other to stay alive. There was a group of them that separated and said, we're going to make it, we're going to walk as far as we can, and they walked over huge mountains, and they survived because they had strong minds and they believed in what they were doing, and that's what got them through. And anytime anybody's ever made a difference in the world, that's what it was. It was them believing in their own actions, and they had willpower and they had determination, and nothing was going to stop them, and that's what they did. So I think that's a really good key point to make, and that is where the solution lies. That is exactly where the solution lies. If we don't do that and we just stay at home and we shelter ourselves inside, then we're not going to make any changes, and the world's going to continue, and that train's just going to keep coming, and we're not going to get off the tracks. It's going to hit us. We're going to know about the problem, but there's a lot of people that are they're not going to get off the tracks. And it'd be nice to wake them up and alert them of the problems so that they can make the right decision and save their lives as well as future generations. The March of Freedom has had a media blackout. There's been no media sources, except with the exception, of course, alternative media sources like this one, and Press for Truth and Toronto Truth Seekers. There is a few independent media sources that came out and helped with this. But other than that, it's been an entire media blackout. No political representatives have come to talk to me about this, even though a lot of the concerns that I have are politically orientated or corporate orientated. None of them have came out and said, hey, I want to talk to you about this. None of them. Why? Because they fear that we know the truth, and they don't want to lose their positions of power. They've grown comfortable, and they almost enjoy ruling and dictating over people, and I find that really incredibly wrong and inhumane, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. So a lot of people have lost faith in the voting system. They don't want to vote for anybody because they have no faith in any of the parties that are running, and it's hard to say how to get around that one. I would say to vote for the lesser evil. You know, vote for the smaller groups. Take all the power out of the big ones and put them into the small ones. But then I think about how elections are frauded and how the votes and stuff like that are manipulated through the electronic voting system. And if you look at the United States, all of the U.S. presidents were related except for one guy. So what does that tell you? That tells you that our political leaders are selected and not elected. And that's another big problem. We have to identify this corruption and get rid of it, and actually bring the platform back to a public level where the public are making the decisions and not a government, because that's the way it's supposed to be. The public is supposed to make the decisions, and the government is supposed to listen to the people and administer those positions. They were actually called representatives before, not politicians. Why? Because a representative represents the person. They represent the concerns of the people. But now we got politicians who are getting paid. They're getting bonuses for keeping their mouth shut and looking the other way, and that's corruption. And I think we identified a lot of those problems here today, which is really good that we actually had a meeting here and we were actually able to discuss these issues and these problems. So I really want to thank everyone that did come out here to Wasted Space, and I'd really like to and BrainFeed as well, brainfeed.ca. Walter, really good guy. Thanks for doing this interview and getting the message out and getting it heard. I really do appreciate you coming out today. And
you're welcome. Thanks, man. Thanks for doing the interview. And
thank you. Peace be in your hearts, and nothing will get in your way of your goals. If you're doing something out of love and positivity, you're not doing the wrong thing. You're doing the right thing, and just know that nothing can stop that powerful force. It's like the Jedis, right? May the Force be with you, because we're battling the Empire, and all you Jedis out there, now's the time.